नमस्कार. ह्या खाशेल्या हिडोनात तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. विशय आसा म्हादयचो, जाचेर भयंकर चर्चा गोंयभर सुरू जाल्या. आनी ह्या विशयाचेर आनी ह्या निवाड्याचो प्रॉपर अर्थ आनी अन्वयार्थ काडपा खातीर द बेस्ट पर्सन इन द स्टेट टू टॉक अबाउट दीस इज नन अदर देन आत्माराम नाडकर्णी. ताणें गोंयची ही केस रिप्रेझेंट केली थंय, देशाचे एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल. आनी जाणी फाटलीं कितलींशींच वर्सां हो कोर्टाचो न्यायालयीन लढो थंय सक्षमपणान चालू दवरलो. ते सर, वेलकम टू द शो.
थँक्यू.
कितें दिसलें काल जेन्ना तुमी गेले, कॉपीज हँड ओवर केल्यो, 2700+ पेजीचो निवाडो वाचतगीर कितें दिसलें? कारण तुमी इतले एफर्ट्स घाल्ले ह्या केसी भितर. हाव आर यू इंटरप्रिटींग इट?
अवॉर्ड इट रन्स इनटू ऑलमोस्ट 12 वॉल्युम्स आणि 2711 पानां. खंयच्याच ट्रायब्युनलाचे अवॉर्ड इतले डिटेलान वचूंक ना. The first time that the tribunal has gone into great detail, considered every piece of evidence, virtually considered every question which was put to the witness. And they have considered all the material and then have come to a particular conclusion. So it's a well-considered award. It is not that the tribunal has just done something. Tribunal has gone through it, taken pains to go through the whole material and given a well-considered award.
पण जेन्ना तुमी हें आयकतात 5.5 TMC तांकां,
आतां
मागीर हायड्रो इलेक्ट्रीक पावर प्रोजेक्टा खातीर 8 TMC, तुमी कशी इंटरप्रीट करता ही गजाल गोंयचे
ना,
दृश्टीन?
हांव तुका सांगता. आमकां जवळ जवळ हांव सुप्रीम कोर्टान आशिल्लो आनी आमकां मॅसेज मेळ्ळी. एडवोकेट ऑन रेकॉर्ड जो पळय आसा गोंयचो, ताका मॅसेज मेळ्ळी ताच्या ऑफिसान की ट्रायब्युनल हेज सेड दे हॅव गॉन टू द मिनिस्ट्री टू डिलिव्हर द अवॉर्ड. कितें अवॉर्ड पळय आसता तें ओपन अशें प्रोनावन्स करनात. तेज अ सिस्टम. द चेअरमॅन एंड द मेंबर्स गो एंड प्रेझेंट इट टू द ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर फॉर WRD. So they have gone there and the party states can come at 4 o'clock to collect the award. Karnataka's lawyer was also in Supreme Court. And I asked him, I said, are you aware of it? He said, I'm not aware of anything. So just then one of my colleagues in the profession, who was a junior with me, and came and showed me on the cell phone a clip which said that around 15 to 16 TMC is expected for Karnataka, around 20 TMC is expected. I was a little apprehensive about that. I said, if nobody has a copy of the award. So I rang up the superintending engineer, Goa, who was there. He said, we are outside the tribunal and we have been told. It was around 2 or 2:30 that time. Just after the lunch break, Supreme Court had started. And he said, we are yet to receive a copy of the award and even Karnataka has not got it. So I said, how is it being shown that they have got like this? He said, now they have changed it. They have brought it to 15 TMC and now they are saying it is expected to be given. So then somebody said, whispered that this is a strategic thing. They don't want the farmers to raise agitation because it is known. Last time they burned the whole of Bangalore. They burnt even my effigy, Chief Minister's effigy, and all that. So this is to avoid that the TV channels have been told, and that is what is being done. Finally, we got the award. At 4 p.m. we got the award. When we saw the award, we found that the total allocation for Karnataka was 5.4, including the in-basin use. And that is what is called the allocation of Karnataka's share. 8.02 is the non-consumptive hydropower generation within Mandovi. Now, non-consumptive, the very word non-consumptive means you cannot consume the water. You can utilize the water for the hydropower generation. To such projects, Goa, other than for environmental reasons, would have no objection. Because if the Mandovi water does not go anywhere, people can always use it. That 8.02 will remain in Mandovi, will flow back to Goa. So 8.02 is not to be considered. Okay. 5.4 is the allocation. In fact, to that effect is Karnataka lawyer's interview on TV. He doesn't mention 13 or 14. He mentions only 5.4. This is important, especially for our Goa press, who have missed the whole point. This is very important. that Karnataka is saying their allocation is 5.4. They took it up to 13 by adding it only to pacify the farmers, agitation, etc. But the fact of the matter is it is only 5.4, including in-basin use, and their major projects of Supa, Kotni, all have been rejected. There is not a drop of water which is allocated for irrigation. Irrigation is no allocation. To drinking water allocation has been done. That is at Kalsa and Bandura. I think it is 1.57 and 2.10. That is the allocation insofar as Kalsa and Bandura. Now, therefore, instead of 36 TMC which they were claiming, they have been given only 2.57 and 1.10. This is the allocation, that is 3.9 in all. Out of 36, when you have demanded, if you are getting only 3.9, when almost 36% of the river flows in your this one, is this not a victory for Goa?
एक प्रश्न जो आसा जो सगळे जाण कालच्यान विचारतात तो म्हळ्यार बेजीक पॉयंट ऑफ डायवर्शन. एक गोंयचो सदांच विरोध आशिल्लो की तुमी उदक इन बेजीन वापरात, डायवर्ट करपा जायना.
In basin, we never had any objection.
Correct.
Right?
आज ट्रायब्युनलान हांकां कितलें आसूं तें मागीर 3.9 आसूं किंवा 5.5 आसूं तांणी ट्रायब्युनलान सांगलां की डायवर्ट करपाक परमिशन. आर यू डिसअपॉइंटेड विथ दॅट?
No,
because they have allowed diversion.
No, it's like this. There is a legal point involved here. The national water policy says no diversion will be allowed from one basin to the other. However, there is an exception. Drinking water is an exception. What they have allowed is for the purpose of drinking water. True it is, we may be aggrieved by that. We may be aggrieved by that diversion. But unless we are able to show that by giving drinking water to them, our drinking water will come down, no court on this God's earth will interfere with such a finding. So it's a balanced finding which they have given.
Are you disappointed?
We are not disappointed at all. Frankly speaking, I am not disappointed at all because I do not belong to the category, as I have said so many times earlier in the interview which I have given to your channel. I don't believe एक थेंबही मादयचा कर्नाटकला दिला जाणार नाही. This is nonsense. This is sheer nonsense. You don't understand. We are a union of India. We are all federating states. We are sharing the river Mandovi. If we are sharing the river Mandovi, some water will have to be given to Karnataka. You can't say I will not give a drop. That is okay. That job the activists or the politicians are doing politics and all. They are doing their job well, no problem.
पण तुमकां दिसता की डायवर्शन अलाव करून आमची कांय व्हडलें वायट जालें ना?
न्ही, कितें आसा, we will have to consider the award. For example, I'll tell you what Goa may be aggrieved with. Goa may be aggrieved with, we said don't consider the entire catchment area is 2032 square kilometer. You leave out the sea area. Correct. The riverine portion which is salty affected by salinity you should leave out. That tribunal has not left out. They have considered the entire catchment area. Now what is the effect of that? But having considered that, they have not allocated 12 and 24 TMC to Karnataka. So having not considered that or having granted that and having taken the catchment area in full, are we aggrieved? To what extent are we aggrieved? Number two, what effect will 3.9 TMC will have on Goa? That will have to be shown. We will have to show some prejudice. I do not know if you are aware, Goa's drinking water needs is only 9 TMC. Not today. It has been so for last several years. Our figures are not going high. This is a stark reality of the day. You can't jack up figures. This is not some palm tree thing or some circus where you can just, flatten up figures.
How serious is the diversion or the amount that is given to them?
No, 3.9 diversion is hardly anything compared, because this is only a diversion during monsoon. Please also mark, there is no diversion during non-monsoon period. During monsoon, if this diversion 3.9 is strictly adhered to, there may not be very serious impact in Goa. There may be nil impact insofar as one who understands about hydrology will be able to tell you, because the yield which has been come to, Karnataka's 220 has been rejected, ours 115 has been rejected. CWC report on which Karnataka was relying has been scrapped, has been rejected. Tribunal has come to its own conclusion of 188 TMC. if 188 TMC is the yield, leave that matter. Even if what we were saying is the yield, that is 115, 3.9 TMC diversion during monsoon does not affect.
दुसरी गजाल ताणी केला की गोंया खातीर ताणी 24 TMC एलोकेशन दाखयला ताजे कडेन तुमी कशें पळयतात?
Please remember one thing, the whole of the water comes to Goa from Mandovi. Whole of 188 TMC, which is the yield, comes to Goa. Allocation of the share of Goa is 24 TMC. Because those where our use is 9 TMC and our uses are of 2050. But Goa is getting the entire Mandovi river. So up to Ganjem, use it in the manner you want to. Whatever you want to use. See, ultimately, you can't go on drawing the water so that you spoil the ecosystem. Correct. So therefore, some allocation had to be given. Therefore, that allocation is 24 TMC for Goa.
दुसरी जी गजाल आहा ती तुमी गांजेचो उल्लेख केलो. आमची जी सॅलिनिटी आसा ती गांजे मेरेन तरीच आमची सॅलिनिटी उरता आनी ताजे उपरांत आमकां सावे उदक मेळटा. अशी परिस्थिती भितर आमकां ती तितलीच एरिया तुमी मागीर कॅचमेंट एरिया ताणी फूल घेतल्या. गांजे
500 kilometers should have been reduced.
Yeah. ताजो कितें परिणाम जातलो? Or it is just a technicality that we can avoid at this point of time?
That is, strictly speaking, I do not know, because nobody should, catch this interview and bring it to Supreme Court tomorrow. Because even within this salinity area, there are large number of freshwater lakes. Maya water lake is there. Old Goa फुडें Karmale lake asa pay, to lake asa, it's a freshwater lake. So many freshwater lakes are there. So this yield has to be this one if you're rejecting this. So perhaps tribunal, because of all these reasons, has not. One who understands hydrology would say that 2032 is not a big catchment of the area.
दुसरो आसता हायड्रोपावर प्रोजेक्टाचो विषय. दोन प्रश्न आसात. पयलो प्रश्न,
Hydropower for Karnataka is rejected.
हय, जो तांकां इन बेसिन तांकां वापरपाक जो दिला.
In basin is non-consumptive.
हय, नॉन कन्झम्पटिव्ह.
They are free to take hydropower.
हय.
See, there are 2 points. One is, using of that 8.02 does not become a river dispute or water dispute, because that water remains in Mandovi. It becomes an environmental dispute. Namely, you are going to spoil the
Correct. That was my second
dense Western Ghats.
That
is for environmentalists to take
no,
up.
that is my second question. But first question, ultimately जेन्ना project येता तेन्ना तांकां उदक बी आडावचें पडटलें. तें उदक जें आसा तें सोडप केन्ना आनी
ताच्या खातीर मादय मॅनेजमेंट ऑथॉरिटी,
वॉटर मॅनेजमेंट ऑथॉरिटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट कर म्हणून सांगलें. You are saying that the authority will take care of it.
Authority has to be constituted. Strictly speaking, authority has to be constituted. It has to be in terms of that authority. Now, I will tell you one more thing. Having said all this, that I am not disappointed and I am happy with the award. I am actually happy with what the tribunal's award is. I am little skeptical because I don't trust Karnataka.
I was coming to that point. Yeah.
I don't trust Karnataka. They have already breached it. According to the WRD engineers, they have already breached it. I think 2 of our engineers were sought to be arrested also until the minister and CM intervened. And so therefore I don't trust that's a different point. See, but can you choose your neighbors? You can't choose your neighbors. They are the river sharing state.
Well knowing की फाल्यां हो इंटरव्यू कर्नाटकाची चॅनल चलोवपाक शकता. जसं लास्ट टाइम आमचो इंटरव्यू चलयल्लो आनी ताणें भरपूर ताजेर वाद केल्लो. Well aware of that, I am asking this question. You are saying that state will not object to their power project, environmentalists may.
No, not state. State on the ground of water sharing.
Will state on the ground of environment object?
May have to object.
So you are keeping
because the Western Ghats, if it is disturbed, our ecology is going to be disturbed. See, I am making only a difference between the water tribunal. If the matter falls out of water tribunal, it will go to National Green Tribunal.
Correct.
Right? Because we do not want the Western Ghats to be destroyed. We want the Western Ghats to be preserved. Now, having a project of that type will affect the ecology. But it will not deprive Goa of that 8.02 TMC for the simple reason that water remains within.
What is your advice to the state? What is the position state should take?
You must object. You must object Not on the ground of water dispute, on the ground of, because it's an in-basin use, so it can't be objected.
Yes, so you are saying the grounds are different, but it has to be objected.
Because otherwise you will destroy the Western Ghats.
Okay, so it has to be objected.
As per Gadgil report, which has been scrapped, but as per Kasturi Rangan report, you can't have a project of this magnitude.
Okay.
But of course, Karnataka is required to take all permissions.
Correct.
And if you know, injunction against Karnataka has been continued.
Yes.
So tomorrow we are filing a disobedience application under Order 39 Rule 2A. Because the day the award was delivered, they had diverted the water. So its application is being filed tomorrow or day after.
So तुम्ही एक गजाल सांगतात की तांकां तो प्रोजेक्ट करपाक सुद्धा गोंय ऑब्जेक्ट करपाक शकता ऑन
different grounds.
तिसरो जो मुद्दे जो ट्रायब्युनलान काडला जो म्हाका दिसता ताचेर यू आर नॉट अ पॉलिटिशियन सो यू कॅन स्पीक व्हेरी वेल अबाउट इट तो म्हळ्यार सुर्लावन सुर्लाटू जे आमची पावर प्रोजेक्ट्स आशिल्ले ते जर जाल्ले जाल्यार कर्नाटकाक हो पावर प्रोजेक्ट करपा खातीर सुद्धा ट्रायब्युनल घडये परमिशन दिनाशिल्लें कारण वी कुड हॅव शोन दॅट आमी त्याच उदकाचो चड बरे तरेन उपयोग करपाक शकतात ही जी पॉलिटिकल लेथार्जी ऑन दीस कायंड ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा ती जर नाशिल्ली जाल्यार आमी चड बरे पोजिशन
आमची पॉलिटिकल लेथार्जी पळय आसा इट हॅज गॉट अ चेकर्ड हिस्ट्री बिकॉज politicians, they are perhaps doing their role well. Okay? Because the activists, the politicians, I read 1 or 2 newspapers and I was told they have commented on the entire tribunal proceedings and the award. Have they read at least one page out of the 2,711 pages? And without reading, if they comment, okay, on their criticism, don't ask me to comment because they are doing their job well. They have to criticize the government. They are criticizing. Now, criticizing legal team, it hardly matters because
I'll come to that.
Because I can't face lawyers who are practicing before Mamlatdar courts. Lawyers practicing before Mamlatdar court who have never entered High Court or Supreme Court. I mean, he raises a proposition. I would say thank you very much.
No, I want to ask because I know how hard you fought for it. So I want to ask that question. But before that, तुमकां दिसता की आमची जर पावर प्रोजेक्ट्स जर सरकार जर मूव जाल्ले जाल्यार आमकां आनी एक बरी पोझिशन मेळटा आशिल्लें ह्या केसी भितर
No. I'll tell you, not just power project. There are 52 projects. And added to that other projects, 94 DPRs we had presented before tribunal. If these 94 projects had been done, okay, then our case before tribunal would have been much better. But tell me something, Pramod, if the projects are not in existence, our projected requirement is like this.
Correct.
You can't in air plead things.
So you are saying that the lethargy has cost us.
But it's a lethargy which is there from since the long time.
I agree. I'm not saying it's a recent lethargy.
No, that's
but
right.
that continuous lethargy has cost us.
We could have had so many power projects from the
आमी सुशेगाद रावपा नाका आशिल्ले.
We should have been very proactive. For example, I'll tell you, we could have gone for interlinking of rivers because the water which comes to Ganjem should have been collected. Today we are just pumping it into Appa. But why? Create big reservoirs. Can't we have big reservoirs? Can't we ourselves have big reservoirs and pump the water outside into all other tributaries? We should have done that. Why not? We don't have water harvesting in Goa. We are giving permissions to builders left and right. There is no water harvesting. Till today there is no water harvesting in Goa.
दुसरो जो मुद्दो आसा तो सुप्रीम कोर्टाचो कर्नाटक एक अशी पोझिशन घेवपाक लागला की वी मे चॅलेंज इट इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट
Karnataka has said, their PWD minister has already said that he is dejected by the award. Okay?
So सुप्रीम कोर्टाक गेल्यार
So
फाल्यां कितें
if he is dejected by the award, obviously he is dejected because Goa has walked out with a major chunk and Karnataka has not got, they feel they have got a raw deal. That's why he made the statement. Similarly, the farmers are agitating. Now, it is so obvious, but our case is that tribunal is the final authority. You should not go because it's like a decree of the Supreme Court. That's what the Act says. But in Kaveri, the Supreme Court interfered partially. It did not allow the diversion. It allowed only for drinking purpose and existing users were protected. So those are points, those are legal
सुप्रीम
points.
कोर्टाक गेल्यार कितें जावपाक शकता
One doesn't know, it will have to be argued.
No,
it depends upon argument.
Is that a better chance for Goa or it is a really slightly risky proposition for Goa? तुम्ही कशें पळयता?
See, it is a risky proposition for Goa because river flows to the extent of 36% in Karnataka. It all depends how they project their drinking water needs, what they do, how Goa projects.
But you are saying Karnataka will get an opportunity to correct their mistakes.
No, may not get opportunity to correct their mistake. It all depends how it proposes. But Goa's case, which has been pleaded, is very firm. If you see, Goa's contentions have been accepted. If you read the award of 2,711 pages, there are strictures against Karnataka. Please see the way their strictures have been passed against their hydrology witness. Please see what the tribunal has given a finding that Karnataka breached the interim order. These are findings which have been recorded. All these, somebody should have, before talking or commenting on the award, should have read this and thereafter spoken about it.
दुसरी गजाल म्हाका आतां आमी जे कंटेम्प्ट पिटिशन फायल केलां तांणी जे
That is for diverting.
डायवर्टिंग ताजे भविष्य कितें इन व्यू ऑफ दिस आनी आतां तुमी म्हणटात की आमी परत पिटिशन फायल करतात की ऑलरेडी डायवर्ट केले परत म्हणून
तुका जर भविष्य जर जाणा जावपाक जाय जाल्यार तूं एक तरी देवाक विचारपाचें नाल्यार कोणी ज्योतिशाक विचारपाचें.
कायद्याचेर आमी तुमकां विचारता गोंयांत
कायद्याचेर भविष्य नसता बिकॉज इवन चीफ जस्टीस ऑफ इंडिया कांट टेल यू वॉट विल हॅपन इन अ मॅटर.
तो ताजें हें कितें भवितव्य कितें आतां.
Our thing is that you have diverted. The only defense for them is they can come and say we have not diverted. It's a natural water.
आज तुमी म्हळ्यार परत आमकां
No, because that is because the diversion is going on.
हय रायट नाव.
It has been breached. The vents have been breached. That's our case.
Yes.
And we will prove that case, saying that we will put something this side. If it comes out that side, obviously that means there is diversion.
So एक गजाल तुमी सांगतात की there is a verdict but there is no ceasefire.
No ceasefire because Karnataka has not taken that role. Karnataka minister says that we are aggrieved. He's called for intervention of the Honorable Prime Minister. I mean, which means they are not happy with it.
Yeah.
Their lawyer has also said, made it very clear, it's only 5.4 TMC has been given. We have to consider now about taking the matter to Supreme Court and all that. And I would be too happy if these activists or this those pseudos who talk about it and comment on it, or this whoever it is, can please come and line up in Supreme Court and defend Goa.
विर्डीचे अवॉर्ड जो आसा महाराष्ट्राक ताणें दिले तो ताजे कडेन तुमी कशे तरेन पळयतात.
Now, Virdicho is only 1 point and odd. That is the river which is flowing there. And that's the rain basin use.
You are saying it's quite fair and Goa need not worry about it.
I don't think we should worry about it. Number two, their main contention was तिरारी उदक जे पळय आमी तुमकां दितात तो शेअर डिडक्ट करून ताजेर दी. That has been rejected. If that is rejected, then Goa has this one. Number two, Surla comes from there. So some water they are bound to use.
लास्ट म्हाका सांगा जो म्हत्वाचो प्रश्न तो म्हळ्यार कॉस्टाचो. तुमी सांगले की लिगल टिमीच्या कॉस्टाचेर प्रश्न काडटात. There are some activists also who are talking about it. So
one of the newspapers brought out that I had been paid X amount in Madai. I was shocked because I have not received that money.
That money on paper.
That money I have not received, but the paper said I have received that fees. So I was shocked. I told my account fellow to just find out. So he said, sir, with Madai you have not received this much. It is much less than that. But as Advocate General from 2012 in Goa, if you calculate that fee comes to that figure.
It is from 2012.
So if you do this misleading things on the newspaper, now I can't go to the newspaper and clarify myself.
No, but my point is
because I can't deal with this kind of things.
No, so my point is very, very, very fundamental. जेन्ना हो कॉस्टाचो इशू आमी काडटात, I want to ask you because it's a very professional thing also. तुमी ह्या काजे कडेन कशें पळयतात? म्हळ्यार आमी इतलो खर्च केलो, कर्नाटकान कितलो केलो? I would like to ask you that. Because ultimately to put it in perspective, we should know if we spent so much money on our legal team, how much money was spent on Karnataka's legal team? At least to put it in perspective for common man.
No, I'll tell you. Karnataka has got a full-fledged river dispute department headed by a chief engineer. Karnataka has got a full-fledged legal team which is like an in-house team doing only because they have got disputes with around 5 or 7 states in India. They go into Kaveri, they go into this, they go into that, on all other disputes. Yesterday he said, that lawyer himself said that Madai he found was the toughest dispute of all. They have never faced such stiff opposition. He admitted. I mean, frankly, lawyer to lawyer. 2, their expenditure, if you take alone on Madai, has been almost around 17 to 18 times more on the legal team than that of Goa. If you ask me, Goa has paid pittance. Now it's all right for somebody to say few lakhs, and do you know what is the charge of an average lawyer practicing in Supreme Court per day? Ask whoever you know, it runs into couple of lakhs. Okay? For Madai, at one point of time, I told Mr. Parikar that you please engage another lawyer. Finally, he said, no, I have to do it. I agreed. I said, I will do it, but get another senior with me who can argue in my absence. You know what was the quote? There is a written letter which is written to Goa government by the advocate on record from Supreme Court to Goa government saying that you will not get a lawyer for below 7.70 lakhs because the fees go from 7.70 till about 35 lakhs. Average it is 15 to 20 lakhs. Now you need a substantial lawyer with some substance and formidable standing to fight a case of this type. Okay? Because if you throw peanuts, you will get monkeys. And that is true of everything, everywhere. Even if you go to the market. Savai khand pot fuge म्हणतात. So,
ना म्हाका हो प्रश्न कित्ता विचारला कारण गरज नाशिल्ले गजालींचेर वाद जावपाक जायना आणि तुम्ही हे क्लॅरिफाय करप सामकें गरजेचें आशिल्लें.
Tell you very frankly, I'll tell you. Some people are jealous, some people are anxious, some people, you know, it pains them. So, nothing, if there is nothing else, talk about the legal team. Frankly speaking, it doesn't affect me because I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered because there is hardly any Goan newspaper which I read, to tell you very frankly. I don't read because on the internet sometimes I read. Otherwise I get around 15, 16 national newspapers in Delhi which Goa I read because I love Goa. But if you write all this nonsense, surely nobody is going to read that paper. You know what use the paper.
No, my only thing was it should go properly into the public domain. It has gone.
Yeah, but the thing is now today, public domain, this award was viral on public media yesterday. Before the newspapers have come today. No, 1 minute.
Why?
Today, the newspapers are losing their sanctity because it is after a day. Today, if you see the public media, take it WhatsApp groups, take
TV
Twitter, TV channels.
Yeah, everybody did it.
Everybody. Now, all these have been projecting completely different than what the Goan newspapers are projecting.
So, Maki last take gazal sangat. Are you taking a relaxed breath or you are gearing up for another battle with Karnataka right now?
No, it depends because I don't think Karnataka will let Goa sleep. My frank advice to all the activists, if you have real concern for Mahadai,
Buckle up.
then please keep a watch because ultimately what we are required is to protect Goa's interest. And if we have to protect Mother Madai, each one of us must be aware and alive to the situation which is going on there. With this much allocation, and Karnataka perhaps knows what is in fate for them later. Whatever you might say legal battle and all will be only for the formality of doing things. If they have breached it and breached the injunction.
Actually, you are saying we'll have to hold our ground.
We'll have to hold our ground and we'll have to keep our radar and antenna on top and find out what they are doing. Because what they have done now is very simple. I don't know if you have seen it. They have just put mud and they have given a slope this side. As a result, the water instead of flowing into Goa is flowing that side. If they have done this for one tributary, they can do it for 16, 17 other tributaries as well. So I feel Goa and Goans must stand united. This politics and all this activists and all this is all right.
Let's buckle up and let's be vigilant.
Please be vigilant because ultimately if the Madai river dries up, each one of us is going to be affected.
Sir, like always, pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.